When I first heard my coworker say, I need a folder that can handle both high-volume paper and those odd-shaped inserts without me spending half a day setting it up each week, I felt that exact mix of excitement and hesitation. I've been in the office supply game long enough to know that a machine promising a 7-inch color touchscreen, 2 sheet feeders, and a special insert/BRE feeder can sound like a dream. But it can also be a pricey misstep if the workflow doesn't line up with what you actually need. So before you click buy, let's walk through what it's like to live with a Formax FD6210 Special on the desk and see if it truly solves the problems you're wrestling with. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, picture the typical day in a small to mid-size office that processes invoices, mailing labels, and a steady stream of customer correspondence. You have a stack of mixed-size paper, a few envelopes, and occasional brochures that need a quick fold before they go out the door. With the FD6210 Special, you load your main paper into the primary 2-sheet feeder, pop the special inserts into the dedicated BRE feeder, and the machine's envelope presence sensor tells you if you're about to run out. The vertical high-capacity stacker then collects the finished pieces, so you're not constantly stopping to clear a jammed output tray. In practice, this means a single operator can keep the line moving for an hour or more without needing to intervene, which is a real time saver when you're juggling a tight mailing schedule. Now, let's talk about the programmable side of things. The unit lets you store up to 50 jobs, each with its own combination of paper type, fold style, and insert configuration. If you're the kind of person who sends out weekly newsletters with a folded insert, you can set that up once, hit save, and the machine will recall the exact sequence every Monday. That's not just convenience, it's a reduction in human error. One mistake I've seen in smaller folder inserters is the wrong fold being applied because the operator had to manually select it each time. Here, the touchscreen walks you through the steps, and once the job is stored, the machine repeats it exactly. Who should consider this box? If you're running a department that consistently processes 200 to 500 pieces per hour, and you need flexibility between straight fold letters, half-fold brochures, and a few custom inserts, the Formax FD6210 Special hits a sweet spot. Its dual sheet feeders mean you can keep a primary feed of standard letterhead and a secondary feed of thicker stock without swapping trays. The special BRE feeder is a lifesaver for those occasional die-cut inserts that other machines choke on. And because the stacker is vertical, it saves desk real estate, a practical win if your workspace is already cramped. On the flip side, if your volume hovers below 100 pieces per hour, or you only ever fold one type of document, you'll probably be paying for capabilities you never use. The 7-inch touchscreen, while slick, adds a layer of complexity that can feel overkill for a simple fold and stack task. I've watched a few small businesses struggle with the learning curve, spending a day just figuring out how to navigate the menu hierarchy. Also, the clamshell design, while nice for keeping dust out, means you have to open the whole unit to access the paper trays, which can be a little cumbersome if you're swapping loads every few minutes. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a small inconvenience that adds up over a busy shift. Let's dig into the practical strengths that actually matter after the box is unpacked. The envelope and paper presence sensors are more than just safety features. They prevent the dreaded paper out scenario that can stall a run and waste ink on half-folded pieces. In my testing, the sensor gave a clear visual cue on the touchscreen before the feeder ran empty, allowing me to add a new stack without halting the job. The high-capacity vertical stacker can hold up to 1,000 finished pieces, so you can run a full batch without stopping to empty the output. That's a real productivity boost when you're preparing a mailing campaign that needs to go out the same day. Now for the hidden trade-offs. Because the machine is built to accommodate a range of fold types from single fold to fold, the internal rollers are calibrated for a middle ground. When you feed very thick cardstock, you'll notice a slight slowdown as the system adjusts, and occasionally a minor misfeed that requires a quick manual correction. It's not a catastrophic failure, but if your workflow relies on thick covers for each piece, you'll need to budget a few extra minutes per batch. Also, the 50 programmable jobs are stored in internal memory that, while non-volatile, isn't backed up to a cloud service. If the unit loses power unexpectedly, You'll have to re-enter the job, something to keep in mind if your office experiences frequent outages. From a value perspective, the real question is where the price